Hello and welcome. Today we will do this custom upload button, and this is going to be a short clip, and let's do it. Let's dig in. So you know how usually as a web developer you go when you want to upload file, you get this ugly looking button without being able to change it, and then you get this name of the file that you picked. So, and you want to change it, and it's just this input is so limited. So we're gonna do a better version of it, and it's gonna be simple. It's all with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I have just some styles, nothing fancy really. Just make it centered and for image, just not to be big and too big. Then I have the live server on. That's why when I make a change, this will appear here. So we're gonna dig in. I'm gonna talk about this no image thing because that's just a custom image I made for the purpose of this video. Yay. All right. So let's say you have a form, okay, and with a bunch of fields, and you wanna give the upload file feature to them. So you need the enc type, of course, on your form. Now that form has a bunch of inputs, and one of them is going to be a file input. Now the name of this I'm going to call it real button because this is actually the real btn, and the ID has to be the same as the label for, you see this for attribute on the label tag. So it has to be the same as the ID for that input. All right. So because let's say we're going to say upload, is that how you write upload an image? Uh, for instance, you want your users to be able to upload images, right? And the reason we give this, I'm pretty sure, I'm sure you know this already. We give ID the same as the for attribute because you want to be able to click on this. The reason this is showing up like this because of my styles. I have on my label, I have these styles because I just wanted to look cool. Now, again, we are seeing this ugly thing. I'm going to get rid of it real soon. But what we want, another one is a p tag or any sort of attribute text type tag, okay? And p tag is the easiest one. I'm going to give it an ID of temporary text or label. Let's call it label. And for now, it's going to say no image selected exclamation, right? You see, like when you choose a file from the input, from the default input, and then you select it, it shows the name, right? That PNG. So we want the same thing here because ultimately, eventually, we're gonna hide this thing because it's just ugly. Yuck, right? And to do that easily, we can just give the attribute hidden to that input. Bam, gone. Don't need to see it anymore. Now, the cool thing is that we can also add the image source to it and say, show a preview of the image that the user is uploading. So I'm going to give it an ID of temp image, or it could be a review, preview, or whatever. It's up to you, really. We are giving IDs to these things because we're going to call them with JavaScript. And it's better to give them ID. I mean, for me, in this small form, I don't have to. I can call them by tag name because there's only one of them. But it's just easier. And yeah, best practices, yada, yada. Now, here's that why I have that image. You see, if I give an alt to this, it says temp image. And if there is no source image, this is going to show up as this one. Again, of course, you can give it hidden, and then with JavaScript, give it, remove that hidden when upload is done. But, a cool way would be just provide an image as such, no images yet or whatever. And then you can change that image. So this is all we want for the HTML part. And the CSS, again, is up to you, really. And if you're interested later on, I mean, continuing, I'm a very new, this is a very new channel, and I'm gonna continue having these bits of pieces. We're gonna have HTML, CSS, Python, everything. Anywho, let's back to this. So you wanna be able to grab these, grab these things. Okay, so let's start with JavaScript. All we need to grab all these inputs. We're gonna grab these elements. I was looking for the word element, I couldn't find it. Let's just start with real button, and I'm gonna use the document get element by ID, since I gave them an ID. What was it? Real button, right? Real btn. Bam. And I'm gonna copy 3 times. I hope I used Shift Alt button down on my keyboard. Windows. I'm using Windows. This is gonna be temp img. This one is gonna be temp label. And so of course this is gonna be temp. All right. We give them temp the ID. Give it the ID of temp image for the image, and the temp dash label for the label. That's it. That's all the items we need. 3 items. Now let's add an event listener to the button, because we want to listen to what? To the change that happens to that input field. So this, when you click on it, it'll trigger a change on that button, on that input. Okay, so let's add a function, and I'm going to use this arrow function sort of thing. It's just cooler. Okay, what is going to happen? Let's talk about this for a second. We want, when we click on this thing, we want select a file, of course, and first of all, we want the name to appear here, so the user knows a file is selected. Right now, there is no way. Okay, so we want to change the text on this thing, which is called temp label. We're gonna change the content. Was it content? Text content. Oops, man. We want to change the text content and set it to the real button. Now the real button is an input. Again, it's an input element, right, as of type file, and it returns an array of files. We want the first one, and we want the name of that file. Okay, that's it. Now again, there is no image selected. Let's say I want this one that has the name 1, or this one. It's easier to see my name, John Vader.png. See? So now the second thing we want the same thing, but now we want the image to replace this temporary image. So we say temp image. Now we want the, what attribute? It has to change the source, right? SRC. My bad. Source attribute. We're gonna set it to same thing. Okay. Of course, we don't want the name now. Okay. So we say this, like I said, it will brings an array of files. We want the first one, and we want the source of this image to be that returned first array, first element of an array. So, but here's this. This is a problem. So when I do this, of course, this is not going to work. You see, this actually does return that file, but this source expecting a URL. And here is JavaScript coming in with the cool URL interface. And there is something in this URL, and it's called here, create object URL, and the name says all. It's a function, so we're gonna pass that file which we are grabbing from the input into this function. This will generate the URL, puts it in that source, that image, bam, we have it on this thing right there. Look at that, blah. And that's basically the preview. Now again, this is the preview. The file is not uploaded yet because we don't have a submit button on our form. The action doesn't go anywhere. So these are just the basically it's just how to fix this thing. So Easy peasy, really. And you can do this with any image. And I've been using this in my website. It's really cool. And I hope you enjoyed it, guys. So this is a custom upload button with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please do subscribe because a lot more is coming up. We're gonna learn a lot every day, something new. And again, I'm very new to this to YouTube with this channel. So please, your support is important to me. We're gonna keep it fun as well. So that's why I'm talking kind of funny. Anywho, thanks for watching. See you at the next one. Bye bye.